Listen, that second Sonic the Hedgehog movie, from a fan service perspective, had some of the coolest moments I've ever experienced in a movie theater. So you already know I gotta talk about some of it. That of course means spoilers. What's going on, y'all? Story here, and this video is kind of just some of my unfiltered thoughts about the cooler moments from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. Just to get kind of a quick mini review out the way and what I thought about the movie in general. I loved it. I thought it was amazing, man. About 75% of this movie is just Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. Everything to deal with that universe, you know what I mean? Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, you know, even if you're even a remote fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's a treat. And even if you're not, it's just super enjoyable to watch. And I loved it. And I can recommend this movie to dang near anyone, despite the fact that the other 25% of the movie, most people aren't really gonna care about. That part of the movie is like Sonic dealing with like real life humans, most of which that was introduced to us in the first Sonic movie. None of it's really good, in my opinion. It's not bad, it's not horrible. It just isn't really that good, and it kind of gets in the way of enjoying the movie at large. But despite that, this movie's so worth it to watch just for the good 75% part of it, that Sonic stuff, so good. With that out the way, let's get to talk about my favorite parts of this movie. Y'all, Knuckles. I loved Knuckles in this movie. He's always been one of my favorite Sonic characters, but every time he was on the screen, he just stole the show for me. You know what I mean? They made him just a little bit stupid, but honestly, in this kind of endearing and adorable kind of way. But if you would have told me verbally before I saw the movie that that's the direction they were gonna go with this character for the big screen, I would have been a little skeptical as to if they could have even pulled it off, but they did, and they hit it out the park. Not to mention that even all of his action segments, every time this character was involved in some action and just fighting, he looked like a badass. They did a great job with like every aspect of this character on the big screen from top to bottom, and I couldn't be happier, and that was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. Next up, we gotta talk about Super Sonic. Y'all, they actually did Super Sonic. That was one of my wish list items going into this movie. I just didn't know if it was too early, it only being the second movie, but I was like, yo, can we please get Super Sonic? And when I tell y'all it was done justice, it was done justice. My jaw was on the floor, bro. I had to physically pick my jaw up and close my mouth. It was done so well. The sound design of him being in Super Sonic, just how it looked, the CGI, you know, the characters' expressions, it's everything you could have possibly wanted and more from someone who saw Super Sonic as a kid and was like, I can't wait to see that on, you know, a big movie screen someday. Again, everything I could have wanted and more. Super Sonic was so dope, and I just hope we get to see more of the transformation, maybe even some of the other characters go into their super modes in the future, bro. It was so cool. Towards the end, when the trio actually teams up, you know, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, because Sonic, you know, Knuckles starts out as kind of the bad guy, but in the end, when they reconcile and they team up, bro, that hit my inner kid a little bit. That hit my inner child a little bit. Just seeing it, you know, in a movie, an actual good movie, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles fighting together, the action looks good. You know, it warmed my heart. It can't help but warm your heart a little bit. And it was amazing. That's why I said, so these kinds of little moments, man, even though that human part of the movie sucks, it's worth it to get to that last act and just see these characters you grew up with fighting together. And even if you didn't grow up with these characters, just the scenes of them working together, it's honestly really cool and one of the better parts of the movie for sure, and they nailed it. And come on, we already know Jim Carrey killed it in the first movie, absolutely demolished it in this movie, and I know he said he may consider retire from acting after this movie, and it's a shame if he does, but I for one am really glad that, you know, this movie was the one he went out with. Some people may disagree, they may have wanted him to play a more serious, complex role, but watching this movie, he had so much fun playing Eggman, and it's really apparent. So if this is to be his last film that he's in, I'm glad that it was one that you could tell he had a blast doing, and it was just really fun for him. Honestly, I think there's enough here and enough established in this world that if, you know, they decided to go without Eggman in the future, it could still work, you know, it could still work, but just, man, Jim Carrey as Eggman was just as amazing, if not better this time around than the first time, and he's seriously gonna be missed, for real. And you know, we gotta talk about that end credit scene. I already told you that Knuckles is one of my favorite characters in the Sonic universe. Yeah, one of the other ones, Shadow the Hedgehog. And we got Shadow the Hedgehog in the end credit scene, and he looked dope as hell. He looked so good. The CGI on it was honestly like something pulled out of like a next gen video game. It looked incredible. It looked like something pulled like that new Ratchet and Clank game for the PS5. It looked really good. Shadow the Hedgehog looks amazing, and I cannot wait to see him in action. As a result of that end credit scene, I'm just as excited for the third movie as I was for the second movie. I literally can't wait. And that's it. Like I said, just some of my unfiltered thoughts about my favorite parts from this movie. Again, I can't recommend it enough if you're a Sonic fan. And even if you're not, it's still gonna be a good time because the movie's dope. If you can kind of just, you know, push the human element to the side. You know, I chose to go to the bathroom during the part where it was pretty obvious that they're gonna be focusing on the humans for a while. Perfect time to go to the bathroom. So while the movie is a little bit longer than it needs to be, hey, at least it kind of has a part baked into it where you can go to the bathroom and get more snacks if you need to.